Welcome to Fashionable Trash Talk. I'm your host, Ashley Aaliyah. Here I analyze and discuss the fashion of celebrities and anyone influential. On today's episode, I am doing a fashion evolution video on rapper Nas. I've been wanting to do this for the longest. I think Nas is top 5 best dressed men. I'm just letting y'all know now that one day I will be doing a video on Diddy because he is also top 5 fashion men. So I know some of y'all gonna be a little tight about that, but I feel like you cannot talk about menswear and fashion without bringing up Diddy. So prepare yourselves. I don't know when I'm going to do it, but that will be a video I'll be doing in the future. Now back to Nas. I think he is just the epitome of menswear and how I would want my man to look as far as fashion, especially like his 90s things. The looks that were just curated for him, where it's like, I don't think we've seen urban fashion quite done like how Nas did it in such a, I don't know, like such a, like before its time type of way. And he's been consistent over the years, and he has range, like between the streetwear, between the suits. It's always done. He clearly knows what a tailor is. He clearly knows how to accessorize because the jewelry is always on point. And I love how he swaps the jewelry out. The sunglasses, the hats, the bandanas. I think a lot of men miss the mark when it comes to accessorizing. And the fact that Nas knows how to outfit. And I think that you can see his influence in fashion and Fabulous style a lot. Not the recent stuff, but like Fabulous first coming out throughout his career, I think his style was heavily influenced by Nas. It's just like, I love the black brands that he wore, the jerseys, just how it was always a piece of New York in whatever he wore and whatever he had. And I just feel like it's a lot of men don't do this. A lot of men don't have the range. And a lot of men just like, I don't know. I feel like how can I put this? I feel like there is a thing happening within black fashion. Black fashion has always been like the culture. We have always been tastemakers, and it always have worked for us. And I think, and I spoke about this in a lot of my other videos, that black fashion amongst men and women has gotten to a place where we are obsessed with trying to compete with our white counterparts and proving that we can do their fashion better than them, when it's like we could just do ours because ours is better. It's cute. Like Nas' most iconic looks to me is, I don't think we've ever seen a man do leather as good as he has done leather, but his yellow motorcycle outfit in Hot Boys video, when I say fire, and I'm so upset that I could not find images outside of one that just showed the genius behind that entire look, because it was just, that look was everything. I think that is one of the best fashion looks I've ever seen from him, because it was so good and so fitting for the video, the theme, what he was rapping about, and just like what women want from a man and how they want him to look. And I think one of his second iconic looks was, of course, Belly. And back to my point where I don't think we've seen a man quite rock and manipulate leather like Nas has. And like, you see other men do like attempts, but it's just, he does it in such a way where it's like still masculine, because I feel like you can do leather wrong. But I think the only person who has had more iconic leather looks, well, I'll say two people, more iconic leather looks in fashion would have to be Eddie Murphy and, of course, Michael Jackson. And I may throw Prince in there somewhere because I feel like they were like staples. But in like the 90s, when it comes to the scope of menswear, nobody was doing it like Nas. And I just think even when we look back at like the pictures from the 90s when it comes to menswear, you kind of see people still trying to piece together their style. Like if you look at Jay-Z, like where Jay-Z started with fashion is not where he's landed now. If you look at Method Man, where Method Man started in fashion is not where he's at now. Like Method Man looked very rugged, almost borderline dirty in his very early Wu-Tang days, and to what his style has branched off to. Like I think Belly was like a really good point for Method Man as well, to when he started converting that style over and started leaning into being a little bit more handsome versus that grungy look. But I'm saying that to say that I feel like Nas is someone who always knew who they were fashion wise. Because if you look at his photos from then to now, it's been consistent. Like it's not like I got here. He's always been there. And I think a lot of that has to be attributed to him being a Virgo man, where I feel like my dad was a Virgo, and I feel like he always had like a strong sense of fashion. And I don't think that's common in a lot of men. But Nas has that very Virgo man type of style and structure to his brand. And I don't think it's talked about enough how iconic it was that him and Kelis got married, because I think they are both people who are deserving of being on like a fashion Mount Rushmore when it comes to menswear and women's wear. And I would be interested to see if their child that they have together will embody their fashion sense. That's like, I know she keeps the kids out the spotlight, but if they ever do desire the spotlight, I wonder if he will kind of exude all that it was that Nas and Kelis was, or will he go like the total opposite way? But I don't think we really appreciated and understood how monumental that moment was in hip hop, because you get people who get coupled up all the time and get married, but I think it's very rare when two fashion houses collide like that. Two people who have always kind of made their own path in their industries, rightfully so. Two people who were never really given their flowers until after the fact, you know? And so, I don't know, I think it was just very iconic, and I don't think it's spoken about enough, and it should be, especially in the realm of fashion. And I don't know, like I said, I just think Nas, the fashion overall, like I said, is amazing. But again, the accessorizing is what I think really sets him apart, especially when he does his like more dapper looks. And I truly hope we see him at the Met this year, because that's another thing that's kind of making me sad, is that men who have always exuded that and gave that, like the Diddy's, the Jay-Z's, the Nas, probably won't be on that red carpet. Of course, Diddy won't be there at all, which saddens me, not from the personal life aspect, but from a fashion aspect, because he has been someone who has consistently killed it on the Met Gala red carpet. Of course, Jay-Z doesn't really pop in there much, so I'm not really expecting to see him, but I would love to see Nas this year, because I just think that he would do so well with the theme that's going on this year. But I don't think he'll be there. But I wish that he was acknowledged more in fashion. I think that out of all the people who are on that Met Gala board, I wish that they had more fashionable men who could speak to the theme and also the culture around New York, because I just feel like some of the people that they have on their board are not fashionable at all. And I'm just going to hit and say it. I think A$AP Rocky is one of the most horribly dressed men that ever existed. And even Rihanna can't save him. So I just feel like it's way more fashionable men who are deserving, even if they aren't from Harlem, if you will. But it was another point that I wanted to make about Nas. Oh, just the grooming. we're not even getting into the charm and the looks because in the swag, because we know when I do my menswear videos, that's always a point that I make it my business to touch on. Just about how the men just don't be men anymore. Like Nas, again, top 5 most handsome men in hip hop, okay? And he has kept that up consistently throughout the years. And I think the only time he even remotely looked a little bit unattractive is probably now with them braids. But I don't know, you know, all the guys we went through their midlife crisis at one point when they want to get braids and twists and locks and all that in their heads. But I think Nas is for sure a low cut Caesar type guy. I think that's when he looks his best with those waves, baby. But I think he has done really well with remaining groomed. And I think especially amongst this generation, grooming is something that really has taken the wayside when it comes to men. And I think it works wonders when it comes to men's fashion. Like, there's nothing like a man with like a fresh haircut, clean skin, white teeth, clean nails, like smelling good. Like, I ain't never meet Nas, but he looked like he smelled good. He looked like he wearing some expensive shit when it comes to cologne. But I truly desire to see men channel this level of masculinity again. And I guess I don't know if it's going to happen, but I really look forward to hopefully it coming. Like, I'm tired of seeing these men in bell bottoms. Baby, some of y'all got the range, some of y'all don't. And I don't think everybody, I don't know. Like, it's just, I don't like how blurred the lines are becoming in fashion. And especially because I think menswear has always been done so well. And I actually think they make better men's clothes than they do women's clothes. So I don't understand why so many men are leaning into more feminine type of structures when it comes to clothing items. Because I just don't think it's necessary to do in order to try to solidify a spot in fashion, when I think it's so much range that you could do. Like, I'm not saying everybody needs to dress like Nas, because like I said, everybody does not have that range, but it's a lot, especially like his suit looks, like the tuxes. Oh my God, he does it so well. The colors, the materials, it's just, I miss men who actually cared about fashion in a real capacity outside of just clout. And you can tell that fashion is something that Nas has always been passionate about. And honestly, I don't understand why he hasn't. I don't know. I feel like they dropped the ball. Like, for instance, like Kendrick Lamar getting that deal with Chanel is a hot ass mess. I don't care. I'm a double down on it, stand on it, flip on it, jump on it, down that hill. A mess. He has never given fashion. He's always looked a hot mess. And the look that he wore at the Super Bowl was horrible. And y'all trying to praise them bell bottoms that was too tight on him, and he's too short and petite to even be trying to rock a look like that. And I think that when it comes to menswear, it's always missed where the men who are deserving, like, I think a Nas at Chanel would be way more fitting than a Kendrick. And I'm just saying overall, because Nas has been someone who has always been solidified in fashion. For example, like before the mental breakdown, like I would have all day, every day would have preferred to see Kanye at Louis Vuitton over Pharrell. I mean, he had a whole rap, I'm Kanye, Louis Vuitton dying. So that's what I mean, where it's just like, it happens with women, but especially men, where it's certain men who have been way more solidified in fashion that get passed up for these endorsements or partnerships with these fashion houses for men who don't have any fashion range. Like I said, I feel the same way about A$AP Rocky. Who was he? Was it Gucci he did something with? And it's just like, Gucci Man was right there. It's other men who are right there, who are way more fashionable and way more deserving. So it's just like, that's a whole different conversation I can have when it comes to menswear. But yeah, I just want to give Nas his flowers because he has been a consistent fashion powerhouse for years. And I don't think he nearly gets credited enough as much as he should. That concludes my video. I will see you guys next episode.